I wouldn't say the MVP was here earlier talking trash, but he wasn't the most respectful about you as a person. Are you expecting antics, press conference, face-offs? Are you expecting things to get a little tense?
No. No. What's he going to do?
You're going to fight on Saturday either way, right?
That's the way I approach it. Regardless of what he says, regardless of what he does, Saturday night we get locked into an octagon together. So for me, like I said, being present, enjoying the moment, enjoying the fans at ceremonial weigh-ins, enjoying the fans at the press conference, and that energy that you can soak up and then use to go out there and reach a different level on Saturday night, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to put on a show. Second
fight now, top-level opponent, Ian. Kind of a younger guy, right? Up and coming, right? How much of his career had you followed up to this point, given that you guys were in different organizations?
None, to be honest. I'm a very lazy person when it comes to watching the fights. I'm a bit of a casual when it comes to the UFC and just other organizations. A lot of times I hear it when I get back to the gym. Someone's like, "Oh, have you seen this guy and that guy?" And if there's enough talk, then I'll go back and watch. But outside of the main names, I'm a bit lazy with that. So I haven't watched loads. I've seen clips of him before, but it's weird. In all honesty, it's weird to me because this type of a fight, had it been outside the UFC, most people would have been like, "You're fighting a can." Most people would have been like, "Oh yeah, why are you fighting this guy?" And would have had so many different things to say. And it's the exact same fight in the UFC, and everyone's opinions have changed now. Like, you're fighting top-level guys and this and that. And I remember at one point, I had a lot of people saying, I wouldn't be able to contend in the top 10. Now I'm fighting someone that's ranked 7th, and a lot of people are like, "Yeah, you're going to kick his ass." I'm like, it changes so drastically. But yeah, for me, it's just another fight. This is what I enjoy the most, and then fight day, I just try to be me, try to be as entertaining as possible, try to get the knockout, and then, go and have a holiday.
Last thing for me, I know the ultimate goal is world champion, but what do you think this fight proves? What does it prove to people? And are you worried at all that you win this fight and people just go, that was just the Bellator guy. He was never that good to begin with.
That's part of the reason why I'm not excited about this. Here's the way I've been putting it all week. Is MVP very talented? Absolutely. I don't think there's anyone that would say he isn't very talented at what he does. I respect his game and his skill set. You have to, otherwise you're being an idiot. Do I think I'm better than him? 100 million%. Like, I know I am. My intelligence, my IQ, everything that I do, I just know I'm better than him. But he's had one win in the UFC. One win in the UFC. He's ranked 13 in the world. He hasn't dominated in the UFC for so long. He has been built up by Bellator against people he was meant to beat. And he went out and beat them. He put on shows against people he was supposed to put on shows. That was a great business decision from him and Bellator to build his brand. But he's here now, and he's fighting someone 11 years younger. He's fighting someone who's faster, far more talent than he has ever been or ever will be. And I'm telling you, on Saturday night, the world is going to see just how fucking good I am.
It feels like whenever Ian fights, more of the conversation is about him as a person and his personality rather than his skills.
Yeah.
Do you have to try hard not to get wrapped up in that yourself, right? And look at this as a contest in a fight rather than this guy annoys people a lot?
Well, I like to just be objective, and I'll go based on how I feel. He is annoying. He is annoying. Does it change me, or does it mean that I have to adjust myself? No, I don't. I never like anybody else, their energy affecting my energy. So I can be objective and state my opinion, but I'm always going to carry myself the way I deem correct. Like I said, I think he's a known character. That's the character he wants to go with. I think he enjoys being a bit of the villain. But good on him. It's gotten him this far. I just think it's fake, like a PBL.
Ian, going off that, kind of the Bellator side, he had said in here too that if this fight happened in Bellator, everyone would be saying he's fighting a can.
Mate, let's be real about that. He's fighting. If this was in Bellator, he'd be fighting a can. How so? Let's engage that. How so?
He didn't really elaborate. I mean, I'm sure he.
What he's trying to do is talk out of his fucking arse and make it that he's more elite than me. 7 wins in the UFC, 14-0 undefeated. I've beaten 3 ranked opponents. I am on my way to be a world champion. There's a reason why everyone's talking about me being one of the best prospects this sport's ever seen. MVP is coming to the UFC to try to legitimize his career at Bellator. I'm going to end that on Saturday night.
Do you, you just said that you don't like people's energy affecting your energy. Do you think that mindset helps you when you go into like the press conference on Thursday and he inevitably talks some shit that you're able to just brush it off?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think just as a man, forget even being a martial artist, as a man, you need to be able to hold your stance confidently without being triggered by emotions, being triggered by things around you. And as a martial artist, I think it's even more important. We should be trained in that. And I've been raised in martial arts since 3. So, yeah, that for me, that's always going to be my stance. Yes, even if I do something, believe it's intentional. I don't do anything without thought process in what I want to do.
Do you think, because he says that, then like later on he'll be like, I actually think he has really good skills and like this thing and the other. So do you think he's maybe almost confused about how he feels about you?
No, I just think he doesn't know what he's... By the way, I want to say something. MVP is very well spoken. He's very well spoken. He is very well media trained. But I think he just doesn't know how good I am and then links everything. Because every person, when they say they fight me, I've told you this time and time again, he says, I'm not the level of the opponent I've faced before. He's going to knock me out. He's going to show me that he's going to take me to deep water. Everyone that's fought MVP is like, he's just a Bellator tick. He's just this. He's just that. The truth is you have to respect his skill set. I can respect him, but be so much better than him and prove that on Saturday night. And at the end of the day, we're getting locked in a cage together. I'm going to prove it myself. So whatever he has to say, whatever I have to say, it's fuck all. Saturday night, I get my hand raised, and that's my job done.
He's declared himself as this new generation of strikers in MMA. I'm curious, like when you actually break down his striking, is it relatively new, or is it just kind of same old thing you've seen in MMA?
Did he say what it's based on?
He just said in one of his post-fight, like in the Octagon after one of his wins, he's like, I'm the new generation of striker here in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't see what it's based on. Let's say if he gave a bit of an example as to why, because from what I see, he's a competent striker. He's got good distance control. He understands, when and where to throw his punches, his kicks. But it's not anything that is new. I'd say I'm new in terms of I can find many replicas of Ian Garry. Try and find replicas of myself. You may find one, and it won't be exact. So that can't be a new wave of anything.
Yeah, I guess kind of last thing that he referenced, he went on a little rant saying that you're a fake Conor McGregor. I'm sure you've heard that one before. Is that something you just feel that you're going to deal with for the entirety of your career? People are going to try to use that almost against you as a negative thing?
Let me word this right. Anyone saying that I am trying to be like Conor McGregor or I am trying to do something to be like Conor, I take that as a compliment. He's the greatest star the sport's ever seen. So if you're comparing me to him, it means I'm doing something right. Now, people are saying I want to be like him. I'm not trying to be like him in any way, shape, or form. Have I been inspired by him? Absolutely. How many people talked about Kobe Bryant trying to be like Michael Jordan? Kobe Bryant went out and made a legacy of his own. Kobe Bryant went out and made a legacy of his own in his own way, but having similar traits and styles to Jordan. I'm born and bred from Dublin, Ireland. Conor is born and bred from Dublin, Ireland. He talks the walk, he walks the walk, and backs it up. I am the exact same. Conor has done everything he said he's going to do in his career. I have yet to prove what I have done and what I need to do. That's my job. So my job is to continue what I'm doing on my journey to destiny, on the goal that I have been set, the destiny that has been written for me. It's my goal to do it my way. And at the end of it, people are just going to say, wow, this kid was special and he did it his own way. And that's the only way I look at it.
He's also been training at Shooter Boxing down in Brazil, which is widely known as they're in these wild brawls like Vanderlei and Shogun back in the day, Charles Oliveira now. But like you said, he kind of controls distance a lot. So are you expecting kind of a new Ian Garry, or is it at this point in his career like he is who he is no matter where he kind of trains?
Yeah, I think he is who he is. And Yeah, I think his style is his style. There's going to be certain things that he's really good at that he, regardless of what, I always say, I train for figuring out people's best abilities, not worst abilities. So I'm not expecting any change. I'm expecting what you are good at. I'm expecting to see that multiple times during the fight. If I have something in preparation for what you're good at, I'm likely to see that more than if I'm like, oh yeah, that last fight, his hand was down, so I can probably catch him out there. He does a camp. The camp, you know, his coaches are good. They fix that. I get in there and I'm like, oh shit, like I don't, that opportunity is not there. So, but there's aspects that he's going to be good at, regardless of any new information. He's going to resort back to that. When I pile pressure on him, he will throw those best things out. If he's piling pressure on me, he will throw those best things out. He will always go back to what he's good at.
Where would a win, especially a knockout over MVP, he hasn't been knocked out since 2019, where would that put you in the division, in your opinion?
Probably 2 positions up, because he's ranked number 13 in the world and he's not done enough to garner breaking up to the top 3. So I believe I'm going to be fighting for a world title in a year's time in Las Vegas, Nevada, International Fight Week. This fight obviously moves me up the ranks. I believe it will probably put me above Colby and Gilbert, and they might move Jack Della Maddalena up, and I'll be breaking into the top 5. I then feel like I have to go out and prove more against the guys who have dominated the division for so long. You've got examples of Usman and Colby. I believe I need to beat these guys before I step into the Octagon for a world title, because I need to prove that to me, to the world, and then go out and do what I do, is dominate.
A couple of weeks ago, you said you think this could be a 2-minute fight. And Ian said in response to that, he doesn't think you're going to be able to hit him and stuff. Is there any world in your mind where this is even competitive, or do you think whichever way it goes, it's going to be pretty fast and furious?
No, I was only messing about. What it is, all I know is, I don't know why he doesn't think he's going to get hit, because he gets hit a lot in many of his fights. So it's not, I can say that, because the majority of my fights, I very rarely get hit clean. So it makes more sense that I say that. Do I think it's going to be a quick fight? Not necessarily. Is it a competitive fight? Yes. I think everybody at this level, I personally, in my mind, say they are the best in the world. Regardless of the fun that I like to have, they are the best in the world. I'm going to be dealing with the best kickboxer in front of me, and this is what motivates me to be that much better. So yeah, 100%. I take him seriously. I like to play around, have jokes, but I do take him seriously. I do respect his talents. I just think I'm better than him.
Final question. You talked a lot about, the rankings and this and that. What would it prove to yourself to get a win over Michael Venom Page?
When I beat Michael, it's going to prove that my striking is just different. I'm just elite and I'm special, and everyone's going to be left going, he's a problem.
And when you look at the fight in your mind, how do you see it playing out?
I think he's going to be very patient and cautious. I use the example of MVP versus Douglas Lima, where in this 2, where he went out, and in the first 2.5 minutes, it was a lot of feint and a lot of moving, a lot of trying to get Douglas to open up or throw and respond. He only threw 2 shots. And I think he's going to respect me, and I think he's going to understand how talented I am, and he is going to come out with a similar style to that. And if he doesn't, I'm going to finish him even faster.
And he said previously in another interview that he thinks you're going to play it safe and cautious. What do you think about that statement, and how are you going to be approaching this fight?
I fight with my hands down. How is that safe and cautious? That's just not safe and cautious. Like my whole life, everyone's like, please, man, put your hands up, man, please. Like that. I fight with my hands down. Like, nothing about what I do is safe and cautious. Like, it's just not a thing.
Coming into the fight, you've done like the Pokemon, and even in your debut, you danced to the Octagon. Have you got anything planned for this weekend?
BBL Gary. BBL Gary. Ooh, ooh. Just hear the come on, man. I'm giving it to you guys. I put it out early. Theme, right? I want you guys to sing as I'm walking in. That's why I dropped it earlier, Yeah, that's the theme this time.
Okay, thank you.